The following program contains the views and opinions of the hosts, speakers, and participants. They do not reflect the policies of the producers, advisors, and advertisers of AU's Paws Radio. Its advisors, advertisers, nor the position of Adelphi University, the Board of Trustees, administrative faculty, or its affiliates. Paws web radio station encourages freedom of speech but does not endorse any specific viewpoints or messages. Listener discretion is advised, especially for potentially sensitive or controversial topics.
Hey guys, it's Tayla and welcome back to Inner Monologue. In today's episode, I posted on my Instagram for people to ask me questions so I can just do a little question session because that's honestly my favorite kind of episode to do. Like, I love a structure. I love people asking me things. It's great. So today I'm going to answer some questions. I looked them over already. Some of them are pretty deep and some of them are just chill and fun, and yeah, I'm excited. If you haven't been here for another episode, hey, I'm Tayla. This is Inner Monologue. This is my podcast. I usually just rant about things, talk about things, dive deeper into certain topics, and sometimes I want to do some questions. I think this is my first time doing a little question session. Not on this platform because I've done Spotify before, but through Paws Radio. So I'm excited. Anyway, let's get right into it. The first question I have is dream role to play on stage. 100% Janice in Mean Girls. Like 100%. Like Mean Girls, the musical on Broadway, is the reason that I'm here doing what I'm doing. It's the reason that I'm doing theater. It's the reason I'm pursuing this. 100%. That is my number one dream role. That was the first time that I ever saw myself so much in a character on stage rather than in a movie or a TV show or something else. 100% Janice in Mean Girls. Some of my other dream roles, though, are Maureen in Rent. I love her. What else? Literally anyone in a chorus line or Chicago. Like, I'll do anything. Like, I'll be in one scene. Like, it's okay. I love those shows so much. What are my other dream roles? I feel like I have so many. Hold on, I have a notes app of this. Okay, we're back. Oh my God, Jenna and Waitress. Oh my God, one of my number one dream roles, Paulette in Legally Blonde, anyone in Spring Awakening. That's just a dream show for me. I would also love to be in The Prom. I just saw The Prom. Oh, what's her name? I think her name is Angie, the Fosse girl in The Prom. I love her. I love her too. I guess if I don't know her name, it's not really a dream role, but it's a role I'd love to play. But yeah, those are my dream roles. And this kind of goes into the next question, which is, how did your love for theater begin? How did you know you wanted to pursue it? My journey with theater is so strange and so, like, not linear, which is weird because once I decided it was what I wanted to do, I was so adamant about it. Like, it's all I've ever wanted to do my entire life, which is kind of true, but I don't know if you guys have seen, like, on TikTok, people saying, like, the invisible string theory, like, someone and the person they're currently dating, like, knew each other as kids or something, or, like, someone in their family knew them, or, like, they were connected in some way, and, like, they finally found each other and started dating when the time was perfect. That's me with theater. Me and theater have, like, an invisible string theory thing going on. So let me tell you, I went to a tiny Catholic school from pre-K, like 4 years old, to 8th grade. That was all one school. And it was tiny. It was private, obviously, because it was Catholic. Oh, wait. Yeah. That's usually what happens. If it's a religious school, it has to be private, I think. I don't know. But it was that. And because it was so small, like, it wasn't like a school that, like, we didn't have, like, all these different like clubs and like crazy things going on. It was kind of just like things that there were like a demand for because it was so small. Like looking back, I think that's what it was. Because the school wasn't, you know, rolling around in money. But there was never like a theater. Like, so all of my pre-K to 8th grade school, there was almost no theater. So there was this guy that used to come in and do like guest shows or whatever, and I think they did Seussical, they did Aladdin, I'm pretty sure, which really controversial, super white school anyway. Pretty sure it was that. There were like things like that, and I almost did one. I think I almost did Aladdin, but I remember seeing Seussical there. But then I remember like vividly going to my mom in the middle of the night one night, like crying because I was like, I don't want to do it, because everyone was talking about the director who was not from our school and saying that he was just like insanely mean and like just really, really bad. And most of the people we were used to at the school were super nice. So I was like, I can't do it. And like, I was like such like a shy little child. And if I was yelled at, like my life was ruined. Like I would have like broken down. I used to cry even if like my mom like left me for school for the day. So I remember going to her, I was like, I can't do it, because I was originally signed up for it, so didn't do it. My entire life I'd been singing. My entire life I'd been dancing of some sort, doing something to those effects, like not obviously like professionally, but using the resources that I had. And then as I got older, kept singing, have been singing my entire life. I started doing Irish step dancing. Zero use for theater, but hey, it was fun. And I'd still do it if the opportunity came up. And then once I got to middle school, there was like a little like makeshift drama club that was happening at my school, and loved it. I was there. We did like little skits. We never did like a full show. And I was like, okay, love. Graduated, whatever, was going to high school. My high school was super known for theater. We didn't participate in any of like the jimmies or anything like that, which is probably good looking back. But going to that high school, I was like, I'm gonna do theater. Lo and behold, people started fucking scaring me and being like as if it's like college or something. They're like, you know, like you have to do like really good. It's like a college prep school, like this and that. And I'm like, okay. I got there, decided not to do theater. I did choir because it was during the school day plus after school, but only on occasion. And I also grew this like insane fear of staying after school. I was so anxious staying after school. I don't know why. I could not bring myself to do it. I wanted to do shows, could not fucking bring myself to stay after school because it was out of my routine. Thank you, OCD. But yeah, terrified. COVID came and went, and then my junior year, I was in chamber, which was like an audition in chorus sort of thing. And someone was playing I'd Rather Be Me from Mean Girls. And I was like, oh my God, no fucking way. Oh my God, what is this? It's so good. Mind you, the whole like year before or like semester before, I would go home ranting about theater kids to my parents, because since it was COVID kind of, and we were doing like hybrid classes, when we were in person, everyone would just be talking about theater, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, how do you guys know every show? Like, what is this? I was like, this is not it. But then I heard I'd Rather Be Me. And when I tell you it was everything I needed and more, it was everything I needed and more. Because the people from this tiny Catholic school I went to, not all of them, but the ones I had drama with, brought it into our goddamn high school. So middle school drama that we very well should be over was not only brought into high school, it was alive and fucking well. It was getting updates. The tea was boiling. Like, it was still actively happening. It was still something I had to actively be a part of, no matter how much I didn't want to. So I related so much to Mean Girls. I related so much to it because I saw myself so much in Janice. I was like, oh my God. I was like she gets it. Like, no matter how much people try to say like, oh, Janice is the villain, Janice is the villain. Okay, tell me you've never wanted to get revenge on someone without telling me you've never wanted to get revenge on someone. Because to me, that's a natural human instinct. Where like, oh, like if I do something back, then I'll feel better. And you know what? That's not necessarily true. But everyone in Mean Girls has a problem. And I love that. Mean Girls is actually very complex. And I can write essays upon essays on this. Mean Girls, even though it's meant to be funny, it like started as like a little like underfunded show. It's perfect. It's amazing. It's so good. So I listened to I'd Rather Be Me. I watched a bootleg of the Broadway version, and immediately after I was like, I'm doing this. It kind of felt like theater had been trying to come into my life for a very long time, and I just wasn't ready yet, I guess. And like looking back, I do think I would have gotten burnt out if I started it a lot sooner in my life, because I started it at like a very inspiring and interesting part of my life where like I just wanted to immediately like jump into it, like all in. And I had no other choice because college auditions were coming up and like things like that. And yeah, I remember looking up things about the Mean Girls cast and seeing like BFA in acting, BFA in musical theater, this and that. And I was like, you can do that? Because my school is a college prep school. So like, why would they tell you to be anything except for like a doctor or a lawyer? They wouldn't. So I was never told that was something I could do in college. But here I am. And I decided to pursue it because I was like, I don't know what it was, but like something truly hit me like a wave. Like it was insane. I was like, this is what I'm doing. No one's convincing me of otherwise. And yeah, that's my story. It's a long one because I really always need to preface the fact that this wasn't something that I grew up doing. Like I didn't grow up auditioning to be Matilda on Broadway. Like this wasn't something I knew that I wanted the second I was out the womb. Like I wasn't born into a pair of Fladucas, okay? But when it happened, like that's how I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, because I saw all of the hard work in front of me and how tough it was going to be to almost like make up for lost time, since I hadn't been doing specifically theater for my entire life. And I was like, okay, perfect. When do I start? So yeah, that's that story. Wow, I really ranted about that. This is gonna be a long episode. Okay, next question. Next question is, how do I become more organized? I want to be a clean girly, but I get overwhelmed. Let me tell you. As much as I don't like my OCD, sometimes she really comes in clutch, because if I get overwhelmed about things in my life externally, I clean, because sometimes I'm like, this is all I can control. Let me organize my room. Let me do this. Let me do that with other things. But this is probably the healthiest one. So I love cleaning. I love organizing. It's become almost like comforting for me. And I understand that's not like that for everyone. And that is so okay. I say, start small. Start in areas that you can tell like need help. Like for example, let's say like you just had like a bagel like a week ago and the rest is still in your trash. Take your trash out. Change it up. Something so small you'll be like, ooh, that was good. Let me keep going. Eventually, it's so helpful and so nice to have one day a week, or even if you can't, like one day a month, to just clean. You don't have to like mop and like go crazy, but like clean, organize, whatever. I am not one to purchase every little gadget I see on TikTok Shop, but there are a lot of really useful organization, like, I don't know, products that are out there, like even just like little boxes to put in drawers, little boxes to put in your closets to make organized spaces more organized. It'll keep you motivated to keep them that way. If things are really bad, then you almost have to do like an all day super deep clean and like start from scratch. You have to keep things clean enough to have motivation to keep it clean, if that makes sense. Like get things to a point where you're motivated to keep it clean. That's like kind of where I'm at. So like I almost have like a default in my dorm room right now. And if there's too much on my desk or too much on the floor, or I haven't put my laundry away, I notice it. And when I have time to, I do it. Definitely start small though. Start in small spaces that like need the help the most, or that can lead to other problems, and get that done. I say get rid of things that could be dirty before things that could be disorganized, because then that could lead to like flies or like things like that, or more of a spread of a mess or something of the sort. That's what I do. But yeah, eventually you will find, if you do it enough, you'll find a routine that makes it fun. I think. Maybe that's not true, but for me it is. And I love organizing. I love cleaning. It makes me feel better about everything in my life right now. Whew. This next question I feel like could be an episode in itself, but I'm going to use it as a question. It says, what's something that has taken you the longest to accept? Of course, my regular response would be my sexuality, because my repressed queerness has become a fun little conversation topic / joke for me. But something I've realized lately that's taken me a very, very long time to accept, because I don't think I've accepted it even now, is that I am not going to be amazing at everything. And also that like I need to take time for myself. I feel like lately I've definitely been doing like one thing after the other so much. And I've almost been measuring my talent. I have been measuring my talent on if I had like performances or like opportunities in that sense coming up. Like if I had a cabaret coming up, if I had a play coming up, if I had anything like that coming up, that's how I measured my talent. And along with that, I didn't have enough time to like, I guess, practice for everything along with doing school, because I would be practicing more than technique. I'd be practicing, okay, let me make sure I know my lyrics. Let me work on my acting for this. Let me do this. Let me do that. And along with that, I kind of set this idea for myself that I cannot make mistakes, even though this is something that I really need to let sink in, because it's something that I don't want to believe, but I'm in the perfect point in my life right now to make mistakes. I'm in college. I'm in like a really great spot with what I want to do with my life. This is where I should be making mistakes, but I don't want to do that. So all of that combined, me not allowing myself to make mistakes, along with trying to book things 24/7, even if it's like a cabaret in the city or something, because that's when I think I'm talented, along with not giving myself enough time to practice on my own, just regular technique, because I'm always doing these things, has created a mess for me. I just watched Inside Out 2 the other day, and it's, oh my God, it was so good. Like, please, please, please watch it. If you've already seen it, watch it again. It's so good. It's so good. I was like, oh my God, why is this me? This is literally me. But if you've seen Inside Out 2, you know that anxiety started having all these ideas once she finally got into Riley's brain and started making them so fast, creating memories, and then putting the memories into her belief system to create a new belief system. And that is what I'm doing. Like, anxiety in my brain is saying, if you're not constantly performing, you're not talented. If you're, okay, now you have to practice really well because you have to make sure that these performances are absolutely perfect. And then on top of that, what was my last thing? Performing all the time, making sure the performances are perfect. What was the other thing? This is literally my brain. Oh, they kind of go together, but not being allowed to make mistakes. All of these together have created a little belief system for me. And it's been a little bit of a struggle bus because I'm noticing this recently because I did just have a performance and I felt horribly about it. I did not think I did well. I was having a really anxious day to begin with. I was just so anxious the entire day. And then on top of that, vocally, I wasn't feeling my best. And that's something I haven't really had time to navigate because I've been doing shows constantly. So I haven't had time to just like sit down with my voice teacher and something and be like, oh, like this is going to be TMI. But like, I'm PMSing. My vocal cords are more swollen right now because of that. What's something I can do about it? It's just been practice. So when the time comes, when the weather's really bad, or when I'm PMSing, or when something else is happening and I'm not having a good vocal day, I don't necessarily know what to do about it. Or if I'm having a really anxious day and then I have a performance, so I have performance anxiety on top of it, what's something I could do about that? These are things I haven't had time to navigate because I'm constantly doing shows because I'm like, that's how I know that I'm good. And then I'm not allowing myself to make mistakes in them, and I'm constantly practicing for them so that I don't make those mistakes. So then this past show, I had a solo song and a duet. And personally, I think my solo song was a dumpster fire. It was horrific. It was terrible. I hated it. It was, honestly, it was the embodiment of what I'm talking about right now. I was practicing so much for it that I didn't get to be like, oh, if I'm PMSing or if I'm having a really anxious day, what should I do? I wasn't allowing myself to make mistakes when I was rehearsing it and like working through them, because for some reason I don't think I could make mistakes, but I should be making mistakes. And I just got through with doing other shows. I did a show off Broadway like a week or two before, and I had to bounce right back into this. It's a lot and it's hard. So that was kind of like a wake-up call for me, and I cried to my girlfriend about it, and then we watched Inside Out 2, and it was like, oh, I was like, okay, this is this fucking play about me? But yeah, I think all of that I need to work on. That's something that's taking me a while to accept, but I am trying right now to just take a break. I do have things coming up because I physically, like, I can't stop. Like, I notice myself, like, I'm on Instagram and I'm like reaching out to like production companies that do cabarets and stuff in the city. The second I see them post something, I DM them something, or I send them my reels, and I think about it after, and I'm like, oh yeah, like maybe I shouldn't have done that because maybe I should rest. So right now I'm trying to take time to take classes. I'm going to use all of this inspiring energy to go to workshops, to go to classes. I want to dance more. I love to dance. I'm not a dancer first. I don't know if I'm even a dancer third. I'm like a dancer 18th, but I love to dance and I want to get better at it. I'm going to put that energy there. I'm going to put that energy into voice lessons, practicing new things, practicing things I'm not good at to then get better at them. I guess I just have to learn to take my time slow and steady wins the race. The fucking tortoise and the hare. I have been the hare right now. But now it's time to be a tortoise. I need to be the damn tortoise. Because the tortoise probably practiced a lot for that damn race, and that's why he won. But the hare probably was like, well, I just had 8 races the other day, so that was practice enough, so now let me just run. Now, you know what? That's a perfect little button for this podcast. Be the tortoise. And on that note, thank you so much for joining me for this episode. It was pretty long, but I had a lot to talk about. A lot of caffeine, a lot to talk about. Thank you so much. Even if I don't post something on Instagram, feel free to reach out to me through Paws Radio or to me directly if you know me in person, or follow me anywhere. Please feel free to ask me questions, send me prompts for podcast episodes. I really love this feeling of just like knowing what to talk about instead of just like, well, I love to sit down and rant sometimes. I do, but sometimes I really do love a structure. So yeah, let me know if there's anything that you guys want me to cover in future podcast episodes, because I would really appreciate the inspiration and the prompts and the questions and all of the above. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week. Bye.